general thing that, about in season, I just think it's just so important to attempt to get faster. And sprint-based football teams do get faster in season, which means to me they're more athletic, which is fantastic. Which also, speed is the best barometer of health. I know some teams will do like a vertical jump to see if the guy's CNS is still on and doing it, But I think that if a kid comes in running 22 miles an hour in August, and near the end of the season he's running 19 miles an hour, you got some serious questions. It may be the kid. It's probably you. It may be a combination of you and the kid. If all of your team is running 19 miles an hour at the end of the season after running 22 coming in, then you as a coach should be, you should be fired. You've done harm. You've let the grind literally grind and pulverize your team. And what's really sad are the true grinder teams. None of them time a sprint all year. So they have no idea, zero idea. They are practicing in the dark, basically. They have no idea if their team is better at the end of the season than they were at the beginning. And you can't go by wins and losses because there's other teams that are stupid too. And, I always say that dumb is undefeated against dumber. I go to a lot of football games where neither team deserved to win. They were both bad. They were both unathletic, poorly coached, but yet one team wins and feels like all the bullshit they did has been justified because they won the game. If you're speed training, you have something quantitative to go by. It's a great barometer of your team's freshness, their athleticism, and their health, which I just think that's hard to argue with.
To expound on that real quick, what distances are you thinking in the top of your mind are ideal for like football in season, like to 40 to you're talking 30 to 60 yards, 40 to 80 yards for that top speed exposure?
Yeah, I think I think the 40-yard dash is there's a lot of people that, it's bullshit. The 40-yard dash is perfect because it's the perfect blend of acceleration and top speed. And 98% of even the fastest athletes are within a couple percent of their top speed late in the 40-yard dash. Everybody says, Bolt was still accelerating after 60 meters. He was running in the high 26 mile an hour range after 30. So, he was real close. So I think the 40 is about the right distance. And if you think about the 10-yard fly, it's just a 40. It's a 40 with a 30-yard run in. As a matter of fact, for years, I would get 2 times off of one run. We would run a 40-yard dash and time the last 10 as well. So sometimes a 40-yard dash time and a 10-yard fly time does not match up real well. And if that happens, maybe that kid's a poor accelerator. Or if it's the other way, then he's really bad at top speed. He's a pretty good accelerator, and he'll never be good in the 100-yard dash because he has pretty good acceleration mechanics, allows him to run a pretty fast 40, but his top speed is really bad. I believe that the best indicator of athleticism is the max speed, so I'm a fan of the 10-yard fly or 10-meter fly or whatever. Our run-ins are always unlimited, but like I say, 30 yards into a 10-yard fly is really solid. So, and getting back to how much exposure, like people say sprint-based football, what are they doing? Like doing a track workout every day? No. If you are doing 2 atomic speed workouts, and you can look up my atomic speed workout on YouTube. If you're doing 2 atomic speed workouts a week, you are at max speed for 4 seconds that week. Think about the tiny investment, but it's important. Buddy Morris, the great S&C legend for the Cardinals, I think he's still with the Cardinals. He's unlike most S&C guys because he has a sprint background. Buddy Morris still holds his 100-meter record at his high school. He ran like a 1080 or something, but he holds the 100-meter record. So he has a speed-based mind, whereas the average S&C guy was slow and tried to outwork everyone in high school to get faster, and he never got faster because really hard work doesn't make you fast. Matter of fact, it makes you slow. You have to really, do less, and do it better. So what Buddy Moore says is, yeah, we're going to train our bigs like throwers, and we're going to train our not special team, our skill people as sprinters, but everyone will be exposed to max velocity. Everyone will get exposed to, and so when we're talking about exposure, we're talking about, if you do 2 a week, that may be 4 total seconds of exposure. If you're doing 3 a week, that's 6 total seconds of max speed exposure. But for that little investment, the average sprint-based football team improves their speed, team average by 1 mile an hour during a 12-week season, which is like mind-blowing.
Out here in Oregon, I'm the strength coach at the high school. I get the kids twice a week. And what we've been doing is we've been doing, a 5-yard fly 10 just because of room. And now we've been opening up into the hallways. So I can max sprint them twice a week. My workouts after that, I'm trying to follow feed the cat stuff. So one day we're going to do like 3 or 4 sets of a kettlebell complex where they're cleaning, pressing, squatting, and rowing. And then the other day, it's either a dumbbell or a circuit of, benching, pull-ups, some light deadlifts, and some single leg stuff. Is that in following what you would do in the weight room with your guys?
Yeah, I'm a real generalist in the weight room. I say stay general in the weight room, extreme in speed training, specific in your sport.
Yeah,
I love that. Stop being a generalist in your sport. Be specific in your sport, but so when I have a discussion, like if I was your track coach at your school, I would say that all sounds great. Just don't let it interfere with speed. And What does that mean? Well, we're timing. So if we have guys that are coming in, and they're running slow, and you say, "What's up?" He goes, "Oh, I'm really sore from yesterday." Okay, you burnt the steak. We're gonna have to have a talk with your weight room guy.
And that's what I've seen. I've seen some of my guys that I had in July that were running, 19.2, 19.3. Now they're running 18.5, 18.3. And the problem is I can't pull the football coach back from them.
No.
It's really about me educating the football coach and just going, hey, we don't need to do that. Just focus on the football stuff.
Yeah, and then that's so common. When I talk to Kyle Bolton from TCU, he's with the Rams now, by the way. Another question I ask is, I say, as progressive as your S&C staff is, and we're talking, they are so progressive that in the last 3 years, they spent more money on recovery equipment than on weight room equipment. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah, you're getting it. I say, how progressive is the coaching staff? And he's kind of shook his head and he says, I think they'll catch up in 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
They're just way behind, and of course we know that. Anybody that has tasted the Kool-Aid of feed the cat sprint-based football, really caring about not burning the steak, not letting today ruin tomorrow, all that kind of stuff. It's really hard to see the value in not thinking that way, because that kid that's running 18 miles an hour, who used to be able to run 19, he's reduced. He's reduced. He's not as good of a football player as he should be right now. So I think we have to keep educating coaches, and that's why I speak like an evangelist preacher when I go around the country. I'm actually speaking 5 times at Glacier Football in Las Vegas, and I think I'm the only non-football coach to ever speak at a Glacier Football clinic, which they need. They need to hear stuff from people like me. So anyway, one thing I was going to mention, there are a lot of people that do not have the room to have a full run in to a fly. And I say that, especially in high school, we're constantly doing the next best thing. The next best thing is always okay. Michael Boyle, he never has a full run in to his sprints. And I mean, I want to tell him, I say, you're leaving some stuff on the table because they're not getting the max speed, but I like bite my tongue because that's as good as he can do.
Yeah.
And he has shown, I think that if you get faster in a 10-yard fly after a 5-yard run in, there's a good chance you're getting faster at max speed too. So the next best thing works. I love the fact that you get out in the hallway, try to get a surface put in the hallway. That would be so cool. You know, a weight room surface or turf just makes too much sense. But I think I talked to so many people in your situation, like, what do I do with the football staff to get them on board? And I think it goes back to record, rank, and publish. It goes back to the numbers.
And we do that. And that's why I'm noticing, like, hey, my guy Alex, he was running 19.2. Now he's at 18.5. And that's my only answer is he's tired.
Yeah, he's tired. He's beat up. He doesn't have enough rest, recovery, sleep to build his athleticism or to keep his athleticism. And when you think about, okay, that guy's reduced. If you think about the teams I work with, they're getting faster in season.
Yeah.
So not only are you slower, but you're missing out on the potential to become a better athlete as you play the sport.
Yep.
And when we're talking about teenage kids, I mean, they get to go through it one time. They get one chance, and we have coaches that are screwing them up, and with the best intentions. Those football coaches are working their ass off, but they're screwing kids up.